I mean, Moist Critical's an absolute meme, though, Colin. Moist Critical's a meme lord, though. He's a meme lord, though. Man has a dildo collection that rivals Belle Delphine. Man has a dildo collection that rivals Belle Delphine. Because it's hilarious. I don't fucking know. It's going alright, my dude. My brother's trying to sell me random things, and I'm just like, what the fuck is reality? Yeah. Yeah, I got you, Colin. I got you. Tell me if you can hear the vacuum and if it's too loud, because then I will mute myself and periodically turn it off and on the mic as I'm thinking of dialogues. But right now, we're talking about some business ideas. You like the basement? It looks all creepy as shit. That door open behind me. I love it. But yeah, when it comes down to it, we're going to be talking about business ideas. So I'm thinking we're just pontificating for comedic purposes, guys. I'm bored. So I think Stop Having Kids should partner with either Bad Dragons or Adam and Eve, and come on, guys, this is pure gold, and we should basically make a Stop Having Kids brand of just like sex toys, where it's just like you don't need, no woman or man. Exactly. My brother says you might catch an STD from a goth girl or prostitute. Colin's saying that goth girls get ran through because they're sad, and basically Colin's an asshole. But so basically he's saying get yourself a pocket pussy because on God you don't want them STDs and you don't want to knock some hoe up. So moral of the story is we need to get a EFIList brand of pocket pussies going, and just I don't fucking know who's the hottest woman in the EFIList community. Bam, get a Kirby vacuum, I guess.
Buy from me.
Buy from my brother, Kirby vacuum.
Help support the fam. I'll give you a better deal. Like honestly, start connecting me with your people, and I'll cut you in with contract deals because we can sell across straight. I can get them to call and get someone to go.
If you want a Kirby vacuum, it'll go portion to Colin, and then I'll threaten him, be like, I know these people, they bought from you, give me 1%, and then I'll be like, yeah, I got $5. Yeah, I got 200, so... I mean, like, if I got like 5%, I get like a couple dollars, like a good $20. I'd be like, nice, $20. $20 is $20. How's it going for you, by the way? I should ask because I'd never ask. Well, besides when I'm hanging out, but how's it going? Weren't talking smack about me earlier. I'm always talking smack about everybody, home slice. That's why I'm always talking smack. I also was with D-Profit, and I talk smack about D-Profit too. So I'm always talking smack about everybody, home slice. But oh yeah, it reminds me, I should be making a critique on your negative utilitarianism video. Unless you want to just come on here and talk about negative utilitarianism and why you think it's wrong. But straight up, I am gonna watch your videos on negative utilitarianism and I'm gonna critique them. So I'm gonna do that right now, actually, because you reminded me. Thank you. I'm always talking shit, man. You know what they say. If you talk shit, you're gonna get a dick in the ass. And I'm biased, so I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Ha 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 ha. Comedy. Okay, let's share screen. Click. Climate change denial. We're gonna watch this in a little bit from Virtual Pleasures because that sounds pretty interesting. Let's take a gander. All that does still.
I will be giving $1,000 away to the first person who is able to give me one non-reason for procreating. Just to clarify, by non-selfish, I mean a justification for...
I mean, I can tell you a reason for why one could be able to procreate for a non-selfish reason, given negative utilitarianism. If you really wanted to, say for example, humanity wanted to go down the route of genetic engineering, aka like recessive genes. If we wanted to go down that route, which a lot of people do, given transhumanism, capitalism, they're like, oh, we should go around routes that are more appealing to consumer bases, and genetic engineering is far more appealing than atomic energy. You want all this in like logical format. I don't really know how to do that, but when it comes down to it, yeah, basically what I'm gonna get at is if you really wanted to end all life on Earth, you may need a future generation to do so, and it would be a non-selfish approach to essentially be like, hey, for utility purposes, I'm going to impose harm upon a future generation by having them to extinguish entire future generations multiple times over. So, given that, I would say it would be possible to have a future generation of people, an entire generation, not just one person, systematically by the government, basically, like, some giver type of shit where it's just like, you basically have women who are, assigned jobs of, so long as they consent, to procreate and basically just be like birthing vats. And then, those children get raised by the government to basically just be EFILists and antinatalists that are here to end life on Earth by hunting, fishing, genetic engineering, stuff like that, and basically I'd say it would be completely justified to bring a future generation to existence to prevent massive amounts of suffering of animal life and human life around the globe. But that being said, who knows, man? That's not exactly what you want. I mean, it's basically just negative utilitarianism, man. Like, if you can prevent pain on a net whole, if you can prevent more pain by causing pain, you should do so. So forcing one group of human beings for benefit of another is inherently selfish. It's not selfish though, because you're also doing the same thing for yourself. I'm not saying like you should. I'm not saying it's not selfish because you're doing it to prevent. Given that their pain is equal to your own, it's just utilitarianism. It's not benefiting yourself in any way to systematically have a child and basically be dedicated to like a utilitarian style, like communist style system. Like, it would be very much to the detriment of that generation that's alive to be basically practically ordered around systematically to just get jobs done and have very like few luxury time outside of just like reset and recuperate. I don't know, the way I look at like the ideal future is basically just like kind of a lot of people would be like, oh, it's a communist hellscape, or like, it's like like the giver style, like you go to work and then you come back home to your family unit and then you hang out with friends like a certain amount of time during the day. Everything's really systematically organized and big bang boom, basically it would be to the detriment of all beings that are alive, to basically end a ton of future suffering. So I don't think it's really selfish. It's more just if anything, it's sacrificial. Like, it's more just like, as I always say, you gotta crack an egg to make an omelet. So it's basically just acknowledging that there has to be some pain in order to do something of good value. Like, you can't massive change doesn't come without sacrifice. This, like, slavery ending, civil rights union, women's suffrage, anything you can think of, caused it took a lot of work. It took a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears to get to where we are right now with our amount of liberties and freedoms and equality that we have. And it's the same for any type of suffering reduction. It takes quite a bit of suffering yourself. It takes quite a bit of suffering of a generation to prevent the suffering of future generations. And I think it's definitely worth it. So it's not selfish, it's just utility. Just as their $5 equal to our $5, and there's no continued sense of self given identity nihilism, I'd say the most logical thing is to prioritize the net whole of the future, which will be a far larger quantity than the present. So, because, there is no sense of self that you can really point to that's being like, oh, this is me. This is the anti-nihilist reformer. This is the antisocial EFIList. You know, I can't brand. You know, I can't like point to a specific part. It's just empirical experience of like different things in the world that I've taken in through senses and compiled as memories. There's no real me though, and that me is constantly changing. There's no real brand that's here. So it's just experience, and everybody else is just experience. So it's just like, why should I prioritize my experience over someone else's experience, especially given the future has far more experiences to have going on. So that's the way I look at it. It's not about selfish, it's just quantity, it's just numbers. It's a numbers game. I'd love the $1,000, but you know, you don't have to give me. If you would give me $500, that'd be pretty fucking awesome. That would help my bank account quite a bit. Just kidding though. I don't need your money. I don't need your money, but I am kind of in debt. Fuck you, bank. How could you do this to me? The bank's just like, you didn't do this to me. Your bad spending habits did, Brant. And I'm like, I'm aware. The system doesn't make it any easier. God damn it. But no, I am in debt, so $1,000 would make my life a lot better. But I don't need $1,000. All I need is stoicism. Oh, it's not necessarily an agenda of those that exist. It's just like empirically the truth. Like everything breaks down to just pleasure or pain when it comes to experience, and those are the two things that are objectively good or bad. It's just pain is bad, and pleasure, if it exists, is good. So when it comes down to it, it's just like a quantity game. It's not really like an agenda to be served or not served. It's quite literally just like a biological factor that's like inherent to all things that are alive. They want to avoid certain sensations that we classify as pain or discomfort, or I guess like, yeah, pain, discomfort, suffering, torture. All these things are avoidable sensations. And then there's like pleasure, euphoria, you know, comfort, satisfaction, whatever you want to call it, like agreeable sensations that we like wish to occur and have the dopamine and serotonin releases when they do occur. You know, it's just like, I don't know, like, to me it doesn't seem like it's an agenda. It's quite literally just like a biologically inherent thing that occurs on earthly life, and probably life across the entire universe, due to the fact that it's very likely evolution's common occurrence. Yeah, it's a lot of dust, bro. You're using the zip brush. Try the zip brush. Oh, is it?
Yeah, for the floor at least. Yeah.
Oh, for the floor? I thought you were doing the bed. Oh, you have student loans? Yeah, then you probably do have more debt than me. I only have like credit card debt of like $500. So if you have student loans, yeah, then you are definitely in a far worse off situation than I am. I apologize, but yeah, you need the money more than me if you have student loans. So yeah, if you have student loans, you need the money more than me, dude. So yeah, keep your money. I'm only $500 in debt, and that's just credit card debt. So that's shit that I have because I'm bad at managing money because I'm a fucking psychopath. But, you know, you have an actual debt from trying to educate yourself or educating yourself, depending on if you are successful in your education. Either way, it's props to you for trying to get or getting an education. because education is good. It helps you pontificate. Have some pontificating skills. Yeah, we watched your challenge video earlier, and basically just said the qualifications and stuff. I already know what the qualifications are. Let's take a gander. How bad is the vacuum, by the way, guys? Like, I really have no clue how bad the vacuum is. My brother just like, yo, do you want to come downstairs and hang out with me? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Climate change denial. Let's talk about it. Hold up. Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Okay, my Gnostic
Before
friend.
you comment, before you say anything in the comment section. Talking about the politics attached to these things. Abstain, hold off, hold back. I'm talking about climate change in and of itself by itself. I'm not talking about the politics attached to it.
Okay,
in this video.
cool.
Although I will discuss the topic of how people automatically zoom in to politicizing climate change and why that right there, boom, pinpointed, is the capital THE problem in and of itself. The politicization of climate change is the motherfucking problem from either end. Okay?
I don't know about that. I mean, you're right, but
So
you're
unless
wrong.
you've been living under a motherfucking
I mean,
rock.
politicization of climate change has made the progress in it halt quite a bit, but I don't think. I mean, yeah, I guess if you're right, yeah. I mean, it's quite a big problem because of the fact that it's helped it, but given the accelerationism, I'm gonna say it's not as big as a problem as we would say, just because fuck the environment. Fuck the environment. What has
Hell,
it
even
ever
if
done
you
for
have
me?
been living under a rock, there's changes going on underneath the fucking rocks at this point.
I'm just kidding. But when it comes down to it, though, like
Unless you're
straight
just a
up,
total
though,
dumbass and can't understand how gazillions of cities throughout the entire planet, or chuckle, flat circular plane for you fanatical flat earthers out there.
Is
Yeah.
it better down here?
I don't know. Does it? But yeah, given the accelerationism, guys, that's why the duty to help others is arbitrary. Technically, I'm poorer than homeless people because I have more debt than them. I mean, yeah, but you also have the credit potentially to maintain having like houses and like apartments and stuff like that. Well, a homeless person doesn't have the credit and all that stuff, so they, despite not being in negative income, technically speaking, they don't have the ability to own items through credit or anything of that nature. And basically in America, everybody's living on credit, baby. Ayo, everybody's living on credit. What even is owning things in America? We just rent things. No regret going to school. I can't even use my skills because the government won't give me a license. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. I also kind of regret going to school because I'm currently $500 in debt and I've spent a few thousand on shit that I've not gonna use. Like, look at this. Here, let's go on an adventure. It's also loud as fuck down here, so I'm going upstairs, Colin. Take care. I'm going upstairs. Take care. Here, it's... Look at this. these are some of my many books that I have from college. Minus the ones that are actually good and, like, worth, owning, I guess, just for literature sense. Starting with College 101. Bullshit. Hundreds of pages of bullshit. Philosophy. Bullshit. I mean, it's some useful stuff, I'm sure, but bullshit for the most part. This is what something I got in high school, but it's a college grade book. Myers Psychology, 2nd edition. Truly, what the fuck? Where is it? Where are you? I know you're over here. I have an entire book for EMT stuff. I have basic life support, and then I have an entire bigger book. Maybe I lent that to someone. I might have lent my $100 college book on EMT skills to someone just because they were like, oh, I might be able to use that, and I was like, here, you can fucking have it. So, maybe not though. Let's see. Theology Foundations. We got a whole book on religion. Let's turn to a random page. Protestants. Roots of Protestant movements. Interesting. Not. We got. Oh, here we go. I'm found my college books. Political philosophy. Fucking hate that class. Literally just a bunch of bullshit, oh, how should we govern the state? Is it about consent? Is it about all this stuff? I'm like sitting here like, no, it's literally just about utility, motherfuckers. Got logic. Eventually I'm gonna read this because I should. Insurance value. Just as the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, direct experience is worth an entire novel. So that's what I say. But who knows? We got The Confessions of St. Augustine. Truly a brilliant book, but that one's actually good, so I'm not complaining that I spent money on this. So Augustine's kind of based. Let's see what I got over here. I know I have some stuff on EMT jazz. Huh. Maybe not. Maybe I did lend that to one of my friends. The EMT book. Must have. I'm blending out so many books of mine right now. So. Really no fucking idea where they are. It's like we're reading, lending out The Selfish Gene, lending out Dune, lending out a couple other ones, including that college textbook on EMT stuff, which is worth like $200 or some shit. I'm like literally in debt, and I'm just sitting here like, hey guys, here, have my shit. Myers. Yeah, I hate school, man. It is useless. Honestly, I have more useful books that I've got from just like recommendations from teachers. Like, apparently this is a good book. Haven't read it yet, but my grandma had. She says quite a unique book called The Grasshopper. Why didn't you want that job at the farmer's market? What job? Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean by why didn't you want that job at the farmer's market? I don't know what you mean, bro. That's why education is a waste, because employees value experience more than education. Oh yeah, 100%, man. Like, there's tons of jobs that just want you to be able to do work. They don't actually give a damn if you have like school experience or anything like that. They're like, oh well, it'll just train you on the job anyways. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that was bullshit. Not to mention, like, for half the time when I go to like school for 4-year colleges, just wanted to see like you're competent and willing to like stay with something for a long period of time. They don't actually care about that, what your degree is. Like, how is philosophy gonna help me in like fucking being a receptionist or like guest services or, you know, customer services? Or like, it's not. They just want someone who's like able to communicate with people and think on their feet. It's just bullshit. So, yeah, education is a waste, as you said. Yeah, I 100% agree. Tech school stuff is not a waste, but you also can't smoke weed for half the tech jobs, so I'm not gonna fucking do a tech school thing. So, hence why, you know, why do that? Why go to school when I could just go to a company, start working, and just make my boom money? So yeah, college is kind of a waste. 4-year colleges are kind of a waste. And doctoral degrees and PhDs are a waste unless you're an elitist cunt with a ton of money to just blow. So, but hey, if you're an elitist cunt with a bunch of money to blow, I mean, go and get your doctorate. Go for it. You know, do not let your dreams be dreams. Oh Also, please donate like 20% of your income to charity. I should have wore sunscreen, guys. Probably gonna get skin cancer. Just kidding. But if skin cancer is as painful as sunburn, then it's gonna suck.
Is climate change and can lead to nothing other than climate change. Unless you're that dumb, you're going to be able to understand what I'm going to be saying going forward in this video. If you are that dumb, though, that you can't understand that that by itself, minus any other factor, is still climate change, then if you're really that dumb, it's really best to just not listen to what I'm going to say going forward. It really is. It's really best to just not fucking listen to this video. It is, and I'm telling you now. So watch something else, watch my other content, do something else with your time. Don't listen to this video if you're so dumb that you can't realize that cities filling the entire fucking planet all over the goddamn place, everywhere, and everything that's required to run those cities is by itself motherfucking climate change. Then just, okay, you know, nothing more can be said to you because you're just too fucking stupid. All right?
I mean, I agree.
You're too fucking stupid.
It's climate change, but it's not necessarily
That's
a bad
change.
thing.
That's just terrain change. That's just, how many face palms do I need to do? 100,000, a million? You know, a billion face palms? For those of you who cannot understand, the nuclear reactors filling the motherfucking planet, all over the place, everywhere. The coal plants, all these other motherfucking things. Oil rigs, oil being drilled out, blasting up into the air. Cars driving everywhere, all this other fucking bullshit going on. Rubber, huge, gigantic fucking trash heaps all over the place. Oceans filled with plastic and shit. If you're too fucking stupid to understand that all of these goddamn things and thousands more things on top of this is fucking climate change.
No, I wasn't getting a job at the farmer's market. I was just going there for activism purposes, my dude. I was getting a job earlier this week, I guess, fucking at like a water company that like waterproof stuff. I'm not sure if that's gonna work out. Potentially a capital credit union, but I was just doing activism at the farmer's market. So I had like a sign that says "Birth is the catalyst of all suffering and death, and abortion's an act of love." And I was basically just walking around the farmer's market with that. But hey man, maybe you could get a job at the farmer's market. I don't know what I'd do there though. I would rather not though. It's hot as shit out in Wisconsin summer. So
fucking idiot. But the problem is within conspiracy land, we have people who, because they're so goddamn fixated on the government corruption conspiracy, what the government is using climate change for, their nefarious agenda in relationship to climate change, they mix up the entire issue of climate change by it motherfucking self as being always a connived schemes conspiracy thing. As if it doesn't have an independent existence, minus every corrupt motherfucker that exists, just disappeared off the planet would still be motherfucking climate change like a motherfucker. Okay? With all these elites and motherfuckers gone, the planet is so far into being fucked up by all the shit that's already happened, it would still be fucked up. Minus all these motherfuckers here. God damn it, man. So no, my content is not for stupid people. It's for people who think layers into things beyond just conspiracy land and politicization of facts land. But the problem is in conspiracy world, there's this narrative going around that's really fucking stupid, that everything to do with climate change and the negative aspects of it is all 100% balled up as this one amalgamated, oh, that's a conspiracy. It's 100% artificially caused as a conspiracy, therefore that's what it is. It doesn't have any independent existence as a thing going on.
well, the conspiracy about the climate change is talking basically that essentially, not saying that like climate has changed is a conspiracy, because that's obvious. They're saying that like the climate's changing in a way that's destructive towards humanity's future is a conspiracy. They're like, oh, no matter what, humanity will survive. The fact that you're saying humanity's going to be destroyed by this because of human caused action is a myth. I don't agree with that. I think it's definitely true, but I don't know if that's exactly what they're saying. But that's just me playing devil's advocate because I like to do that. Hee hee hoo hoo. I don't actually
on, minus it being this conspiracy agenda thing. Therefore, because it's a conspiracy agenda thing, we're just going to say it's not a big deal, or whatever. No, it's just not as bad as they're claiming. It's exaggerated, blah, 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 blah. Because it's a conspiracy thing and it's being used politically, therefore we must resist these narratives. Because it's being used politically. Sit back a minute, sit back in your armchair, take a deep breath, and let what I'm about to say sink in, if you're one of those people who is thinking that way. It's 100% motherfucking irrelevant who politicizes it or who doesn't. The politics surrounding it are politics. Obviously, people are going to be politicizing it. Of course they are. That's what humans do. They politicize things. But remove the politics from it and pay attention to what is actually going on. Minus the politics, minus the conspiracy. Notice that the stupidity of humans by itself, without the need for a conspiracy, is criminally lethal. Notice that, please. Please, thank you. Have you noticed that yet? That you don't need a conspiracy for human stupidity by itself to destroy the entire world. Has that sunk in yet? Because human stupidity would destroy the entire fucking climate by itself without any conspiracy. Needed. And if you can't understand that, you're insanely stupid. So no, you don't have to buy into specific set dates. Like, okay, the world is going to be completely destroyed by this exact date or whatever. You don't have to do that to recognize what's actually going on with the situation. You don't have to, okay? There's no necessity to set an exact date. Okay, exactly this time, this amount of population is going to go extinct to this degree. No, that isn't necessary. Just pay attention to what is happening. Notice the pattern, okay? At least do that much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This would be fun.
So recently, Emendum took part in a shit show of an event with a couple of YouTubers, Logan Blake and Conscientious Omnivore. Emendum lasted about 20 minutes before realizing he was wasting his time and leaving the discussion. I can sympathize with Emendum's situation here, as if he had refused the debate, he might have been accused of cowardice, but having agreed to the debate, he then had the frustrating task of having to try to reason with someone who obviously doesn't take the subject seriously and has extremely poor reasoning skills. On the surface, it might look like there's some value in debating someone like Logan Blake. He has 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and some videos with 20 to 30,000 views, but closer inspection shows that almost nobody actually watches his videos. It seems highly likely that he actually pays for views and subscribers. A quick Google search shows just how easy this is to do, and if we look at some of his most watched videos and see how many comments there are on the videos, something looks extremely suspect. On his most watched video, Crazy Demon Catfight with Hair Flying, already an indication of the guy's character, we see 60,000 views with just 11 comments. His next most watched video has 31,000 views with 13 comments. In terms of subscribers, my channel is 10 times smaller than his, yet my most watched video has 8,000 views and 259 comments, with the second most viewed having 7,000 views with 263 comments. So a few things are clear. Firstly, that Logan Blake cannot create content that anyone wants to watch. Secondly, that he clearly wants to be seen as someone with some kind of significant online presence, because we lack any evidence of God. But just like the Black Swan, because we lack any evidence of God, it does not mean that there is no God. And if there is a God, then there might be some kind of cosmic purpose, and if there is some kind of cosmic purpose, then the goals of antinatalists are in direct opposition to that cosmic purpose or of that God. Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's tear this silly point of view to shreds. Firstly, the idea of there being black swans, even to those people in the past, would be at least plausible. Being from the UK, I'm familiar that grey and red squirrels exist. But if someone told me that there were such things as white or black squirrels, I might not accept the claim outright, but neither would I claim that it was impossible. I understand that I'm ignorant about the evolution of the squirrel, and whether it's possible that other species of different coloured squirrels might exist. I can also consider the motives of the messenger. Perhaps he's playing some game to deceive me, or perhaps he's imparting some recently discovered knowledge. Now let's imagine my friend Dave tells me that there's a squirrel that's employed as a bus driver. He's married to the actress Naomi Watts, and in his free time, he enjoys intergalactic travel. He often visits the Sombrero Galaxy, where he plays squash with the actor Kevin Eldon. I'm right to dismiss this claim as bullshit. I know that squirrels can't drive buses, and that Naomi Watts is unmarried, and the intergalactic travel which this squirrel embarks upon is impossible. I can also consider the motives of the messenger. Dave is a psychedelic drugs user with a vivid imagination. He likes to tell stories because of the attention they bring him. The existence of the bus-driving squirrel is not plausible. It's not ignorant or closed-minded to dismiss this for what it is, absolute gumph. So into which category does God fall? Well, firstly, there's no consensus on what God is. There are almost as many notions of God as there are believers in God. But for argument's sake, I'll say that God is an intelligent, rational being who created the universe and life for some kind of purpose. Unlike squirrels and swans, we don't have any information on gods. Aha, so he might exist. Well, no. Imagine in Crazy Dave's example, he tells me that God is a bus driver who's married to Naomi Watts and plays squash with the actor Kevin Eldon in the Sombrero Galaxy. Does it make it more plausible? Does it make a difference if I know something about squirrels or don't know something about gods? Of course not. Logan Blake could continually ask the question, but how do you know? And claim that every answer you gave was not sufficient evidence, saying, yes, but no, Naomi Watts...
Subscribe to Glunos. Glunos channel is great, but we're not going to watch this video. It's kind of relevant to the conversation. I was just wondering what was going on for this video, so I clicked it and I was like, oh, nice, yeah. But moral story is,
The video responds to some Lord Shadrach guy. Asked me a simple question in a video, so I figure I don't get a lot of videos just asking me a simple question, so what the hell, I'll answer it. But it's a weird question in a way, just because of context. I have done videos on this stuff, but I just asked why I'm an atheist, and yeah, the simple answer is because I'm not a theist. But it's really not that simple an answer when you think about it, because I can say now I can make a lot of arguments, about why I don't believe in God. Because now we have all this.
we'll watch this. Why not? First, I'm just gonna get some cereal.
Stuff. I mean, you have Darwin, you have Dawkins, you have all these kind of interesting arguments, and all the paradoxes. I mean, who would be God's God? Who invented God? Who made God? How'd that get created? I mean, God doesn't answer a lot of questions. There's a lot of arguments you can make, when you're an adult and you're articulate. But the fact is, I mean, I was always an atheist pretty much. I mean, I never really believed the story. I never really had any confidence in the God. I mean, I can remember being obliged to pray at night, and do the, now I lay me down to sleep, something to take, and God bless, blah, 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 blah. And, and I did it, but I didn't do it with any, the whole thing just seemed wacky. And so I guess that's where you have to go to, is why did I never find the story compelling or believable? And it's like the Santa Claus story. I mean, I never believed there was a Santa Claus. I mean, it's just, you're told this story and you kind of just know they're lying to you. You just know it's just too crazy because they can't answer any of the questions. Well, then why does, and we don't even have a chimney, so how does, and you don't get any good answers. Or you get some kind of silly answer like magic powers or whatever. And that just never fit in my head. I mean, you have to explain magic powers. You have to justify them somehow. I mean, Superman's more believable than Santa Claus, and or for that matter, God. And then part of it was, there was just nothing about religion that was appealing. I mean, nothing about how they defined God, how they described what God was about. That was at all interesting. I mean, God didn't seem to give a damn, number one. I mean, he wasn't playing any active role. You're told this story about these people that live way the fuck over there in some desert. The same people that people are calling all kinds of ugly names. But they're that's the sacred people of your God, the religion they're trying to preach to you. And it's like, well, I mean, if those are the chosen ones, how come you're talking shit about them? So I mean, even that little hypocrisy, I remember that meaning something to me at a very young age. So, we go back to like 5 years old or whatever the number is. The first churching experiences. And there was nothing appealing about the church. I mean, it was this horrible place you go to where these jackasses just, drone on and people sing jackass songs. I mean, none of it was appealing. And the bottom line is that none of it had to do, I mean, none of it, there was no penis story. There was no and God created the magic penis to make Adam happy or something like that. I mean, if there was some kind of book of penis in the Bible, I mean, I might have gotten it, because even at that age, I already knew where the center of my being was, and if my soul existed somewhere, that's where it existed. And so none of it fit into anything I could relate to. It would just seem like it was like people were describing this alien planet, and that was heaven. And I was like, well, why the fuck would I want to go there? It doesn't have any of the stuff I like. I mean, it has like pearly gates and stuff. I like dirt. I mean, I like snakes and bugs and shit. I don't like, no, what the fuck am I going to do with pearly gates? You know, and there was this like, oh yeah, and you go there and it's like church or something. You're going to go sit around with Jesus and he's going to preach to you all day and then you're going to sing some songs. Is that, what the fuck is that? What the fuck are you going to do there? I never got a good answer to the question. And what you were getting preached was just all this moralizing, stupid crap that just didn't have any relation to do unto others. Well, of course you do unto others how you have others do unto you. What the hell else am I going to do unto others? Well, I mean, I just punch them in the nose and expect they're going to treat me right? I mean, you learn pretty quick that, you know, you get what you give kind of thing in the real world. And you also learn, you see people with one leg or something, and you say, fuck, why did that have to happen? Why does that guy got to live with one fucking leg? And it was through experiences after that that it just became clearer and clearer that there's just no room, there's no place for this logically to fit into my head, that there's some thing that created all of this crap and then obliges us to remind him every day that he should bless people, because otherwise I guess they're going to get dead or something, or unblessed. And I have to tell him every fucking day to do it because he's so stupid. Or just, you know, the whole premise is just idiotic. It's stupid. So yeah, that's why I'm an atheist, is because the theology stories, all of them, they're all bullshit. They all don't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, there's what fucktarded God would create a stupid world and then hide behind a rock somewhere? What the hell is that crap? Yes, I'll make a world and I'll hide behind a rock and play psych games with all the little creatures. And, you know, I was looking at other animals and saying, well, they're pretty interested in their lives. They're pretty involved. I mean, why is they don't have a God? No one's out for them. No one's looking out for them. I mean, that didn't make a hell of a lot of sense to me. I mean, even anthills, I'm looking at these ants and you're saying, shit, look at all the work these things do. And you're poking on their little mound and they fix it and they do all this shit. And you're like, yeah, they're involved. They're living. So, you know, what do you mean? They don't go to heaven? They don't have the same rights that I have? So even that didn't make any sense. So, yeah, I mean, I'm an atheist now because I'm a rational human being. But I was an atheist at 5 years old because there was nothing about religion. It's nonsensical. Every inch of it, every millimeter of it is just nonsensical. There's no way it explains anything. It doesn't, and there's nothing genuinely human about it. I mean, how do you relate to it? I mean, how do you find comfort in the idea of being played with, of being ruled over by some fucking creator, you know, who's decided that you have to pay for sins that somebody committed 2,000 years ago? What kind of, well, not even 2,000, 6,000, whenever Eve was hanging out in the garden. I mean, the whole thing is just crazy. It's just crazy. And so, you know, it's, I don't know how to answer the question. I mean, like I said, you can go through the list of 9. I can list you all the things I've learned since I was 5 years old. But even at 5 years old, I wasn't a big enough sucker to buy this stupid story. It's a stupid story. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, I knew at 5 years old that I had sisters and, you know, we were family, and there was, you know, people lied and, you know, people played games with the truth, and you saw it all around you, and you saw all the pretense, you know, where there was always negotiations going on between people. You know, they never told the truth to each other, and you knew very young. Oh yeah, well, you don't talk about grandpa's big ugly fucking nose, and you don't talk about this, and you don't say she's smelly, and you don't do this, and you don't do that. So you find out all the lying rules of life. And you realize that, well, Jesus, if people can't even tell the truth like day to day, like in one day their lies aren't even consistent, what the fuck is going to happen to a 2,000-year-old story? And, you know, you saw it all the time. And somebody go fishing. Oh, yeah, I had a, you know, 10-foot fish, but it fell off. You know, some other bullshit story. It's a fish story. And the whole Bible thing just sounded like such a fish story. I mean, come on. And so, well, whatever. Like I said, so I never could relate to Christianity. And by the time I was exposed to other religions, they seem even wackier. You know, I mean, they're probably no less wacky, no more wacky, but they seem even wackier because they're even less related. I mean, we've sort of Americanized Christianity, but it's like those other religions aren't even Americanized. I mean, they don't even speak English, kind of thing. You know, you could at least imagine Jesus speaking English. You know, as much as you're not supposed to do that, you would imagine it. But you know, you don't imagine Mohammed and the rest of these people doing any of that. And so it's like even less. There's even less of a connection to any of those other kind of religions. So anyway, that's an answer to your question. I think it's more curious as to why you bother listening to my videos. I'm really pretty sacrilegious. I mean, if there was a God, you wouldn't like me much.
I don't like him much, so yeah, at least we agree on that. So I'll just bring up a little thing too, because this guy keeps talking about the desert file guy, and apparently desert file said something about me being crazy or something, and you know, he doesn't deal with nutty people out of ethics or something, and I just thought that was kind of strange. I don't think I had much contact with desert file. He makes okay videos. I mean, he's a little eccentric. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. He's pretty eccentric. Yeah, but I don't dislike the guy. You know, he makes really good arguments about some things. Like I said, sometimes he's just too caught up in the detail, no big picture kind of stuff. You know, he doesn't really talk about the consequences of there not being a God. He's more about the fact that there isn't a God.
You